It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019 100.5, 1450 WGNSSports.com and Big G TV.
Back here on the Coach's Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get legal help when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day. We're talking Laverne boys basketball this morning. Mychal Greenwood joins us. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are we?
Doing good. You survive the snow apocalypse or ice apocalypse or whatnot?
Yeah. We survived it. Honestly, probably my guys probably needed it. We were a little banged up the last week before the ice apocalypse.
Yeah.
So we kind of needed it.
Well, I know that the Laverne, Smyrna area and really out just toward where the Williamson County line is, that's an area that got a little more ice than I think other places. But all the kids and stuff seem to get through all of that okay, and power outages and stuff. Yeah,
everybody's safe. They were just bored. I've been, kind of talking with the guys. They a little cabin fever going on. All of a sudden, PlayStation has gotten old and boring. So, thank God for that.
Boy, if this has happened, when we were kids, and there's no telling what, right?
Yeah, it'd have been tough to keep us in the house, especially me. I'm a northern guy, Cleveland, Ohio, so we were out in the snow. So that snow didn't keep us in the house too often, but that ice is another type of danger. So.
It really is. Ice is something else. So, I guess when, we've got a dusting, you just roll your eyes and say, what are we doing here?
There you go.
But, to get things cleaned up at school and ice off the sidewalks, I mean, there's so much that you have to think about. It's not just getting there, but it's parking there, walking to class there, all that thing.
Absolutely, because I actually went up to the school, I want to say it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, and some of the parking lot was clear, but then when I walked and took my path that I normally take to go to the gym, the little back entrance or whatever, like it was plenty of ice. Like you could skate on it. And so, a lot of times kids have to walk through there to go out to their trailer class or whatever. And so, yeah, it was still dangerous. And Laverne very much so sits on a hill.
It does, yeah.
And so, yeah, you put some cars there and they get to slide, and by lunchtime you'll have a pile up. So
I know that back entrance that you're talking about because we did tournaments there forever ago, but park back there in the back and walk up those back steps, and there's a lot of shade back there, and that's kind of on a little bit of a slope too.
Yes. It was there was a fallen tree back there when I went back there. It's gotten up since then, but yeah. So there was definitely, because at first, like my neighborhood and the main streets were clear. And I'm kind of like, what's the issue? But then, like I said, when I walked around the actual school property, I was like, oh, okay, I see the problems.
Mm-hmm. I guess as a coach, too, not only it's not a bad thing. You said this kind of helps get some of your kids maybe those bumps and bruises and whatnot. But there's also that fine line of, not sitting around eating 3 bags of Doritos and playing games and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I think a little bit of that happened. We got in the gym yesterday, and I said, man, how we get this out of shape in 1 week? You know what I mean? So one kid was like, yeah, we got too much food in our refrigerator. I said, well, it's a good problem, I guess. But, and I try to send a message out to the guys to say, hey, let's all do some push-ups and some jumping jacks or something to stay active. I don't know how many of them actually did it. One of them said, yeah, I'm going to do push-ups in between games that I play, because he was definitely on the game. So, I believe he did it, but how many of the other guys did it, I don't know.
And that's just what you don't know during those things. And, there was question about, are we going to get to play, not play? I think your game from Friday was pushed to today.
Yeah, no, we will be playing Monday.
Monday, that's all right.
We'll be playing Monday. We'll be at Stewart's Creek on Monday.
Okay. I think the word came down that, we can practice on Thursday, even though school was out, and then I don't think anybody would have attempted to play a game without practicing on Thursday.
Right. So we could practice, but even then it's kind of like a only get here if you can kind of situation, because a lot of times you got kids driving. So it's hard for us adults who've had 20, 30 years of experience to do it. You don't want a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds out there trying to figure out the ice.
That's a great point.
So you got to be kind of lenient on the arrival times because, again, they're kids. So they don't know, like, hey, I probably need to leave an extra 20, 30 minutes early because traffic or ice or, I might have to take an alternative route, things of that nature. So, yeah, we got in the gym. We got some shots up. We got to stretch our legs and run a little bit. But yeah, it was definitely not the typical intensity of our regular practice.
Yeah, so you're going to 7, 9, it's going to be like 10 days when you play since the last time you played, somewhere 9, 10 days, right?
Yeah, so we haven't played since last Friday. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it'll be 10 days, and we've rescheduled 2 games for next week and the following week. So we'll have like 6 games in the upcoming like 12 days.
Wow. Yeah. Because you've got Stewart's Creek Monday, and you're on the road for this whole week.
Yes. Go to Stewart's Creek, go to Riverdale, go to Smyrna.
And you got 2 of your biggest rivals there too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. You know what I mean? I'm really loving this rivalry energy. I really am. We played everybody, of course, played their outer conference games, and you're traveling, you're going to this place and that place, and all of those places had great fan bases. But when that rivalry is in town, and because a lot of times it's kids that you grew up with, and you just move 3-4 streets over, and then you're in a whole new school district. You know what I mean? And so the guys are just excited to be like, yeah, I've been playing against him since 4th grade, 7th grade, whatever. They might have even been middle school teammates at one point.
Well, so I think that Smyrna's biggest rival forever was Laverne. Laverne's biggest rival is Smyrna, but Smyrna also has Stewart's Creek, and Stewart's Creek's fairly close as well. Mm-hmm. But, the last time you played, you gave your closest rival, being Smyrna, a scare, and you get them this week on the road.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the Stewart's Creek, and I'm looking forward to all of the games, but the Stewart's Creek and Smyrna games specifically this week, just because, of course, they're district games. They're closer in location, like those things matter. But those are 2 games where I felt like my guys gave a great effort and just had some stumbling blocks. Of course, the Smyrna game was one that went to overtime that we really felt like if we did 1 or 2 things the right way, we win. The Stewart's Creek game, up until the start of the 4th quarter, it was close. And then, I don't know what happened with us mentally and emotionally going into that 4th quarter, but we kind of just shut down for about 4 minutes. And so it got ugly at the end. But for 3 quarters, it was a game. You know what I mean? And so I'm looking forward to getting back to both of those games. I'm looking forward to seeing if we could put 4 good quarters together against Stewart's Creek, seeing if it was more of them or more of us.
And Mychal Greenwood with us, Laverne boys basketball coach. Things usually after you play a team once, the second game, things tighten, things can change, and then when you start tournaments, you may play them another time or 2, and you can always see that if you've got close games, those close games get even closer and closer and upsets, and that's what makes tournament basketball so much fun. Working toward that, from where you started in November to this point, there's been a tremendous amount of growth in your young team.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's been a tremendous amount of growth. I'm super, super proud of those guys for sticking through it because it's not hard. It's not easy to go through the season that we've gone through and keep playing. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much easier to throw the towel in. And so I'm super proud of those guys for sticking through it. We have gotten better. I think we've learned the game of basketball a lot better since November. And now it's just to a point of creating in-game consistency. Again, do it for the 1st quarter, the 2nd quarter, the 3rd quarter, the 4th quarter, and if needed, overtime. You know what I mean? Like, just keep going, keep chopping at it. Sometimes when you're young, you think with one big whack, I could just knock this tree down. It's like, nah, you better off taking a bunch of medium whacks, and then you'll get it down that way. Pace yourself.
Yeah. And this is the first time I think I've had the chance to catch up with you, and I heard you guys in the lobby talking about JV and this, and I mean, when you're the varsity head coach, you're not only the varsity head coach, but you've got your hands on the whole program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a lot, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's a lot. It can be overwhelming if you don't schedule things right, if you don't, you know what I mean, if you're not in tune with your coaches. And that's another thing that we've improved on. New coaching staff kind of coming together, where we were kind of playing with it in the beginning, and now we're kind of like, all right, we know you go here, I go there, that we're gonna do, you know what I mean? So now it's more of a fluid operation overall. And the JV team, they're struggling with the same thing that my varsity is struggling with. They're young. Our JV is majority freshmen. I took all of the sophomores with me. And so now we got a bunch of freshmen playing against sophomores and juniors, where, you know what I mean, our sophomores are playing against juniors and seniors. And so they're going through their lumps and bruises, but I see a tremendous improvement out of those guys as well.
It's a lot like a development league or whatnot. But for those guys to have that opportunity, I think it hasn't always been a thing, number one, but I think it's really a great thing to give them a chance to perform on the court, and they get all the things that varsity does. So, I mean, when you think of Laverne basketball, there's probably something just about every day. Yeah.
There's always something going on. We try to keep the guys busy. Some days it's drill days where we're just working on ball handling or shooting form or things of that nature. And then there's other days where we're trying to teach, not so much teach a play, but we're at a point where we have to learn how to run a play. So a screen is a screen, but do we know what to read and how to read, the actions off of that screen?
Well, this next week, Monday at Stewart's Creek, then Tuesday at Riverdale, then Friday at Smyrna, then the next Tuesday you've got Oakland on the road, and then you finally get to come back home. But going to be Road Warriors here coming up.
Yes.
And chances to see the Laverne Wolverines here in the coming week. Coach, appreciate you coming in this morning. It's been fun talking to you.
It's been a pleasure. I always enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Mychal Greenwood, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines this morning. And this Coach's Show segment brought to you by SRM Concrete, the largest ready-mix producer in the country, yet still family-owned and operated. Locally grown, nationally known, SRM delivers unmatched quality and service. SRM Concrete, you call, we haul.